Today's topic is retarded potentials. An accelerated charge particle radiate electromagnetic energy. The fields produced by moving charges can be computed by two methods. These can be computed either by the concept of retarded potentials or by the theory of relativity. In the former case, the field point parameters are related to the source parameter since the cause occurs at the source point and the effect follows at the field point. The procedure to relate the cause and the effect is known as retardation. This is charge particle of charge q and its path is shown by arrow. This is accelerated charge particle. Now at some point the position of charge q is represented by r dash vector with respect to some origin O, and we want to find out the field produced at point P. Then point P is the field point where the field produced by this charge q is to be determined. So source point is the point where charge q is situated, and field point is the point where we want to measure the fields produced by this charge. This accelerated charge particle will produce electric and magnetic fields. The vector and scalar wave equations in free space are del square A minus 1 upon c square d2a upon dt square equal to minus mu 0 j, which can be written as D'Alembertian del square A equal to minus mu 0 j, and del square phi minus 1 upon c square d2 phi upon dt square equal to minus rho upon epsilon 0, which can be written as D'Alembertian del square phi equal to minus rho upon epsilon 0. These are the wave equations for A vector and phi. Wave equations for vector potential A and scalar potential phi. Here D'Alembertian del square is equal to this del square minus 1 upon c square d2 by dt square. These two equations may be replaced by a single equation of the form equations 1 and 2, which are wave equations for A vector and phi, wave equation for vector potential and scalar potential. These two equations we can write by this single equation as D'Alembertian del square psi, which is function of r and t. Psi is a function of r and t, and it represents both A vector and phi. D'Alembertian del square psi equal to minus g, that is also function of r and t, and this g, which is function of r and t, it represent j vector and rho. It represent current density and charge density. So in left hand side we have used psi for vector potential A and scalar potential phi. So this psi is known as potential function at the field point RT and covers both A and phi, while GRT is the source function and it covers both J and rho. In right hand side of equation 1 and 2 we have J and rho. These are current densities and charge density. So this is for source point where charge is present, and in left hand side we have vector potential and scalar potential A and phi. For these A and phi we write psi RT. So psi RT is potential function at field point where field are to be determined. According to Fourier theorem, the source function GRT may be analyzed by the Fourier integral small GRT is equal to integral G omega R e to the power minus I omega t d omega. Which has Fourier inversion of G omega R, which is inside the integral of above equation. This G omega R can be written by inverse Fourier transform as equal to 1 upon 2 pi integral GRT e to the power I omega t dt. Similarly, the general complex potential function psi RT may be analyzed as psi RT equal to integral psi omega R e to the power minus I omega t d omega, and it has inverse Fourier transform as psi omega R equal to 1 upon 2 pi integral psi RT e to the power I omega t dt. Substituting the values of GRT and psi RT from equations 4 and 6 in equation 3 we get. This is the equation 3. D'Alembertian del square psi equal to minus GRT. Here we substitute the values of psi RT and GRT from these equations. Psi RT from this equation 6 and GRT from this equation 4. Now we have D'Alembertian del square, and for psi RT we write as integral psi omega R e to the power minus I omega t d omega, and equal to it is minus GRT, and for GRT we write integral G omega R e to the power minus I omega t d omega. Now D'Alembertian del square can be written as this quantity inside the bracket, that is del square minus 1 upon c square d2 by dt square. Remaining quantities are same. Now the first term is divided into two terms. First term is for del square and second term is for minus 1 upon c square d2 by dt square. So in left hand side first term becomes del square integral psi omega R e to the power minus I omega t d omega, and the second term which will be minus 1 upon c square d2 by dt square integral psi omega R e to the power minus I omega t d omega. This second term, in this second term we have differentiation, 2 times differentiation with t, d2 by dt square. When it operate on e to the power minus I omega t, if we differentiate e to the power minus I omega t with respect to t, then we get minus I omega e to the power minus I omega t. And if we differentiate twice, then we have minus I omega square. Minus I omega square will be equal to minus omega square. So we have second term as equal to plus omega square c square integral psi omega r e to the power minus I omega t d omega, and right hand side is the same. Now we take this integral as common. E to the power minus I omega t d omega is also common, and bring this right hand side into left hand side, so that this minus g omega r will becomes plus g omega r in left hand side, and we have this equation. Integral inside the bracket we have del square psi omega r plus omega square upon c square psi omega r plus g omega r multiplied by e to the power minus I omega t d omega equal to 0. E to the power minus I omega t d omega and integral are common in three terms, and right hand side is bring into left hand side. Now this equation is true for any arbitrary instant, any arbitrary time t, and any arbitrary frequency, that is omega. This equation is true for any arbitrary t and omega, time and frequency. So the quantity inside the bracket must be equal to 0. So we get this equation: del square psi omega r plus omega square upon c square psi omega r plus g omega r equal to 0, or del square psi omega r plus omega square upon c square psi omega r equal to minus g omega r. This equation we write as equation 8. This equation is similar to the Poisson's equation del square psi equal to minus rho upon epsilon 0, except for the second term on left hand side. If we do not have this second term in left hand side, this equation will be like Poisson's equation, which is del square psi equal to minus rho upon epsilon 0. Now the solution of this equation art may be assumed as the superposition of unit point solutions given by gr equal to delta r minus r dash, that is Dirac delta function, where r is position vector of field point and r dash is position vector of source point. This is shown in this diagram. R vector is position vector of point P with respect to any origin O. O is any point which is treated as origin, and with respect to this origin, position vector of point P, which is field point, is r vector, and position vector of source point where charge q is present, it is r dash vector. So this solution is superposition of unit point solutions given by gr equal to delta r minus r dash. And delta r minus r dash is Dirac delta function. R is position vector of field point and r dash is position vector of source point. Then if G is a unit source potential called the Green function, equation 8 will take the form. G, it is a unit source potential and known as Green function. Then in this equation 8, we write psi omega r as equal to G, Green function, and this Green function G is function of r minus r dash. R minus r dash in this diagram we see is position vector of field point with respect to source point, and we write it by capital R vector. Capital R vector is equal to R vector minus R dash vector, and it represents the position vector of field point P with respect to source point where charge Q is present. So Green function G is now function of R minus R dash. We write in place of psi omega r as G, then we have del square G R minus R dash plus omega square upon C square G R minus R dash equal to minus delta R minus R dash. In left hand side we write for psi omega r as Green function G R minus R dash, and in right hand side for small g we write delta R minus R dash, which is Dirac delta function, where G is function of both R and R dash, and according to the property of Dirac delta function, delta R minus R dash equal to 0 for R not equal to R dash. Dirac delta function, which appear in right hand side of this equation, it has property that its value is 0. It vanishes when R is not equal to R dash. This means that when field and source points are different, the right hand side of equation 9 is 0. If field point and source points are different, R vector and R dash vector are different, R vector is not equal to R dash vector, then this Dirac delta function delta R minus R dash is 0. And in this situation the right hand side of this equation 9 is 0, and the relation is then homogeneous. So in this equation 9, right hand side will be 0 when field and source points are different, and this equation then becomes homogeneous equation. The solution for total source corresponding to frequency omega is given by psi omega r equal to integral g omega r dash g r dash dv dash. G r dash is single point potential, and we have to find the superposition. Then the solution for total source corresponding to frequency omega will be given by this integral g omega r dash g r dash dv dash. dv dash is a small volume element. Dash is represented for source point, so dv dash is a small volume element near source point. To find the value of G, Green function, we note that the solution of equation 9 is spherically symmetric in capital R. Capital R is R minus R dash. the distance between field point r vector and source point r dash vector, except at r equal to 0 where r equal to r dash. So the solution, the value of g, solution of equation 9 is spherically symmetric in capital R. Equation 9 is this equation, and solution of this equation will be spherically symmetric when right hand side is 0, that is delta r minus r dash equal to 0, and it is 0 when r is not equal to r dash, that is when these 2 points, field points and source points, are different. So when field points and source points are different, right hand side of this equation 9 will be 0, and then solution of equation 9 is spherically symmetric in capital R. For spherically symmetric situation, we can write del square g as 1 upon r d2 rg upon dr square. We can think it as del square g. In del square g, del square is d2 by dx square plus d2 by dy square plus d2 by dz square. It is in Cartesian coordinates x, y, z. In terms of r, we can write del square as d2 by dr square, and in place of g we write rg. R is multiplied in g and r is divided. We write 1 upon r in front of this expression. Del square g for spherically symmetric situation can be written by 1 upon r d2 by dr square rg. Hence, for all points other than r equal to 0, equation 9 becomes, we write for del square g as 1 upon r d2 rg upon dr square. In this equation 9, we write in place of del square g as 1 upon r d2 rg upon dr square. Second term is omega square upon c square g. This is the second term, omega square upon c square g, and in this case right hand side is 0. In equation 9, this Dirac delta function delta will be 0 for spherically symmetric situation when capital R is 0. Now this equation becomes very simple, and we write k for omega upon c. Omega is angular frequency and c is speed of light, that is speed of electromagnetic wave. Radiating charge emits electromagnetic energy, and speed of electromagnetic wave is equal to that of speed of light, that is c. So omega upon c, we write for omega upon c as k. Then this equation becomes 1 upon r d2 rg upon dr square plus k square g equal to 0. Multiplying by r, we have d2 rg upon dr square plus k square rg equal to 0. In this equation, we have 2 times differentiation of rg with respect to r. and in second term Rg appears with k square. So this equation is like that of equation of simple harmonic motion, and its solution can be written as Rg equal to a e to the power plus minus I k r, where a is constant. So g Green function now becomes equal to a upon r e to the power plus minus I k r. It is obvious that in the neighborhood of singular point r equal to 0, g behaves as a upon r. In the neighborhood of singular point r equal to 0, if we put r equal to 0 in this equation, e to the power 0 becomes 1 and g becomes equal to a upon r. So in the neighborhood of singular point r equal to 0, g behaves as a upon r. Now using Gauss divergence theorem, we have integral del dot del 1 upon r dv dash equal to integral del 1 upon r dot ds. Assume del 1 upon r as a vector. Then in right hand side we have integral a vector dot ds vector. This is surface integral, and according to Gauss divergence theorem we can convert this surface integral of right hand side into volume integral of left hand side. For this we have write divergence. Del dot, divergence means del dot of this vector. A vector is del 1 upon r. So in left hand side we have del dot a, divergence of a, and a vector is del 1 upon r. So by using Gauss divergence theorem we can convert the surface integral of right hand side into volume integral of left hand side. We have to take the divergence of this vector del 1 upon r. So in left hand side we have divergence, that is del dot del 1 upon r, and now it is volume integral dv dash. Hence using this Gauss divergence theorem we convert surface integral into volume integral. Now del dot del in left hand side is del square, so it becomes del square 1 upon r dv dash equal to minus integral r cap dot ds upon r square. Del 1 upon r is gradient of 1 upon r. If we differentiate, del means differentiation. If we differentiate 1 upon r, its differentiation is 1 upon r square. And as del vector, del 1 upon r is gradient, it is a vector quantity, we must have a unit vector r cap. So del 1 upon r can be written as minus 1 upon r square due to differentiation of 1 upon r, and r cap due to it is a vector quantity. So we have right hand side equal to minus 1 upon r square r cap dot ds, and the quantity inside this integral of right hand side r cap dot ds upon r square, it is equal to d omega. It is the solid angle subtended by this surface area ds vector, and integral d omega is equal to 4 pi. Integral is for closed curve enclose this volume v dash. So integral d omega, total solid angle subtended by closed curve, will be equal to 4 pi. So right hand side will becomes equal to minus 4 pi. Here d omega is solid angle subtended by surface ds. From equation 13 we have del square a upon r dv dash equal to minus 4 pi a. Multiplying above equation by capital A, which gives del square g dv dash equal to minus 4 pi a. Because g Green function, it behaves as a upon r. In the neighborhood of singular point r equal to 0, this g behaves as a upon r. Value of g was this, a upon r e to the power plus minus I k r, and in the neighborhood of singular point where capital R is 0, g is equal to a upon r. So we write g for a upon r, and we have this relation integral del square g dv dash equal to minus 4 pi a. Now considering volume integral of equation 9 over the neighborhood of singular point r equal to r equal to 0, where g behaves as a upon r, we get. Now we integrate this equation 9. This is equation 9. Del square g r minus r dash plus omega square upon c square g r minus r dash equal to minus delta r minus r dash. Integral of this equation 9 will give this. Integral del square g r r dash dv dash plus omega square upon c square g r r dash dv dash equal to minus integral delta r minus r dash dv dash. Integral is for dv dash, and dash represent source point, because position vector of source point is r dash vector. So dv dash here is a small volume element near source point. So integration of equation 9, by integrating equation 9 we find this equation 15. Second term in left hand side of this equation vanishes in the limit r tends to 0. If we take the limit capital R tends to 0, that is when field point and source points are close together, then this second term becomes 0. Using equation 14 along with the property of Dirac delta function, that integral delta r minus r dash dv dash equal to 1 for r equal to 0, equation 15 gives. In this equation 15, in the neighborhood of capital R equal to 0, this second term is 0, and in right hand side this integral is equal to 1. So in right hand side we have minus 1. In left hand side second term is 0, and this integral in first term, integral del square g dv dash is equal to minus 4 pi a from this equation, that is equation 14, which we have already determined. Integral del square g dv dash equal to minus 4 pi a. So substituting for first term, which is equal to minus 4 pi a, second term is 0, and in right hand side this integral is equal to 1. We have minus 4 pi a equal to minus 1, or a equal to 1 upon 4 pi. So this constant a is equal to 1 upon 4 pi. This constant a appears here, where this solution for g is g equal to a upon r e to the power plus minus I k r. Here a was the constant, and value of this constant is now determined as equal to 1 upon 4 pi. Substituting this value of a in that equation, we have expression for g as equal to 1 upon 4 pi r e to the power plus minus I k r. Now substituting this value of g in equation 10, we have expression for psi omega r, and it will becomes equal to 1 upon 4 pi integral g omega r dash upon r capital R, which is function of r and r dash, and e to the power plus minus I k r dv dash. Substituting this value of psi omega r in equation 6, we get expression for psi rt as psi rt equal to 1 upon 4 pi integral g omega r dash upon capital R dash e to the power minus I into omega t plus minus kr dv dash d omega dash. Next, in the next step, we take omega common in this exponential e to the power minus I. Omega is taken common, then inside the bracket we have t plus minus kr upon omega, and in the next step we write c for omega upon k. Omega upon k is equal to c, speed of light. And now for integral g omega r dash e to the power minus I omega t plus minus r upon c t omega, we write it as equal to integral g, which is function of r dash, and t plus minus r upon c. Then psi rt now becomes 1 upon 4 pi integral g, which is now function of r dash, and t plus minus r upon c divided by capital R, which is function of r dash, into dv dash. The negative sign in above equation indicates that the signal arriving at point r vector, that is field point, at time t should have started from point r dash, which is source point, at time t minus r upon c. In other words, the minus sign corresponds to the cause preceding the effect. Cause is produced at source point, and effect is observed at field point. Cause is produced at source point where charge is present, and for which position vector is r dash, and effect we observe at field point P, for which position vector is r. In other words, the minus sign corresponds to the cause preceding the effect. Above equation with minus sign is known as the retarded potential solution of inhomogeneous wave equation. The retarded solution for scalar and vector potentials may now be written as. This is the equation for psi, and psi includes both vector potential A and scalar potential phi. Now we can separate these scalar potential phi and vector potential A by these two equations. In this equation for psi, if we write for small g as rho upon epsilon 0, then this psi becomes scalar potential phi, and in right hand side we write for small g as rho upon epsilon 0, and if we write psi as a vector, then in right hand side for small g we have to write mu 0 j. So this single equation for psi rt can be converted into these two equations for scalar potential and vector potential. In the first term we have rho upon epsilon 0, and in the second term we have mu 0 j. These are in place of this small g. Here rho r dash and j r dash represent the values of charge and current densities at the earlier time t minus r upon c. Now we have t minus r upon c. In place of time t, we have now time as t minus r upon c. So these rho and j are functions of t minus r upon c. These represents the values of charge and current densities at the earlier time t minus r upon c. In other words, the retarded potentials phi and A are calculated from charge and current densities at a time which is set back by r upon c relative to the time of observation. That's why these two potential phi and A are known as retarded potentials, because time t is back by this difference r upon c.